Good evening, everybody, and a warm welcome to TLC Talks with today's special guest, one of our veteran members, engineer, a civil engineer by profession, a veteran in the construction industry, Nimish Desai. Warm welcome, Nimish, and so happy to have you. We had to reschedule it the first time because of my ill health, so I'm really thankful to you for joining us today. So, how are you doing, Nimish? What's happening?
Thank you. Thank you, Preeti, for calling me first. And what's happening, बोले तो the joke goes around is that fog बंद हो गया, Corona चल रहा है. So Corona is happening. There's nothing happening in the world today except for Corona happening. On a serious note, I'm doing well. I found this as a great opportunity and started a lot of new ventures during this almost a year now that we've had a breakdown. And it depends. Tell people that rather than fighting with the situation, if you can look at the good side and what advantages can you take from that situation, your life would be better, you would be less stressed, and you'll be more productive. And that is what we are. We are efficiency consultants. So we had to be. I started a pretty two websites, Construction Universum, which is exclusively for real estate people. I started my own website, revamped it. We started Kanya 360 only for women entrepreneurs. And now I'm doing FB Live on every Sunday, which is called Entrepreneurs Pad, which is a great thing. And all
Awesome, yeah.
thanks to, honestly, TLC and Gurumuli, where I learned so much and I got inspired so much for doing this.
Yeah, I think you're doing fantastic work. And I have to tell our viewers that TLC Serious is one of our masterminds where it's a community where all trainers come together. And Nimish has been in the lead council for two consecutive terms, which just speaks volumes about the kind of selfless work that he puts in for the mastermind to bring together people and to work with everybody. So I want to take this opportunity as vice president of TLC Cluster 2 to thank you, Nimish, for taking on that responsibility and the amazing work that you do. Well, that's all about our TLC community, but today is all about you. So I want to ask you, so what's your story, Nimish? How did it all start? We'd like to know a little more about Nimish Desai, the person that there is.
I've been doing this, and to answer that, it was a no-brainer, no-go, because I'm already a director at four private limited companies. I have my own two proprietary firms, and I understand how to delegate work. So, moment you learn that, I think you can take up multiple roles and do them very wisely and efficiently. In fact, a lot of other places I'm doing other things also, but uh, Preeti, I've always been a impatient utawla kind of a guy. I can't sit at one place. That's my problem. I was always an outdoor guy. You won't believe for my 10th exam, I started studying only 7 days before the exam. Till that last day, I was playing cricket down in my building. And when I got 72% in 10th in those days, people actually came to see my mark sheet कि तू पूरा दिन खेल रहा था. How did you get 72? And we are all in first class. So I've always been action kind of a guy. That's why when I took up civil engineering, I also in civil engineering I concentrated only on survey and costing part because I knew I'm not going into the design. I'm not the type who sits in the chair for hours together. I was always a field man, and I was very fortunate. I'll tell you. कुछ तो मैंने पुराने जन्म में अच्छा किया था that I got a mentor like late Mr. A.P. Remedios. He's a legend in real estate industry. And I'm fortunate to be one of the three officially certified by him trainers in India on good construction practices in civil industry. But the kind of industry that we have, it's so unorganized, Preeti. A lot of things are still on a payee system. Baba Adam ke zamane ka कि दादाजी ने जो बोला वैसे ही करो and all. And my blood boils, honestly, as a civil engineer, as an Indian, that we are not organized as an industry, we are not organized as in civil. Believe me, civil engineering is the oldest profession in the world.
True, very true.
You can do without anybody in this world, but you cannot do without a civil engineer. But still today, civil engineers do not get that kind of a respect that a lawyer or a CA or architect gets. Now, the main reason for that is we don't respect ourselves first. And if, as an engineers, we will not respect ourselves, how we expect others? So that is another what you call fight that I have on mind. So I always write ER nimishmdesai, not MR nimishmdesai, because architects write AR, CAs write CA. So engineers we write ER nimishmdesai, and I'm trying to do that. And while doing that, Preeti, in all that journey of being a contractor, being a project management consultant, I've had 30 years of experience in this industry now. I thought, let's give back to the industry. It's time where my hair have become all gray. People will listen to me thoda patiently. In fact, Preeti, when I was in Hiranandani, I was at the age of what, 30, and I was number two, just next to
Wow.
Mr. Pital. I was a director. And a lot of people used to not take me seriously. But the only advantage I had was that even from that day, I had little gray hair. So मैं बोला चल वो काला नहीं करना है come out because I was recently married at that time. But I said नहीं काला नहीं. So 28, sorry, it was 27 I got married. So I said काला नहीं करना है, वो थोड़ा respect लगेगा लोगों को कि at this post somebody is sitting. So now I'm giving back. So I've become a business efficiency consultant wherein we take in contractors, entrepreneurs who are more like a payday system or who are small and who want to grow big. So we make them grow systematically so that your growth is sustainable. And at the same time, if you have systems and processes in place, you can do a lot of things like I'm able to do today. Preeti, I don't
Correct.
work for more than 4 to 5 hours a day. Fact being, I have systems in place, processes in place, and work delegated. So I can think of bigger things, and that's why I'm able to do bigger things. And I urge everybody, please put systems, processes, delegation.
I
Your
think,
life will be jingalala.
yeah, I think having worked with you in the TLC mastermind, I quite vouch for these things that you do. I feel that one of the reasons a community works well is because there are people who put in that effort to get members to own up for their responsibilities. And I think you really have that hidden quality in you where you work with people to give them the assignments and follow up with them and get things done. So I do appreciate that. Now let's come
No,
back to
that is
your.
because I'm lazy, Preeti. I don't want to work, so I make people work.
That's a nicer way of putting it, I guess. So, yeah, I think that's an art of delegation which you have mastered. So, kudos to you for that. What I'd like to also ask you, Nimish, a little bit about is the real estate industry. Okay, so it's one of the industries after probably the hospitality and the coaching industry, which is closest to my heart for reasons which you know. Now they've seen a lot of ups and downs. Okay, the real estate industry went through a big boom, then it went to a big bang. Again, now I think my understanding is it's kind of stabilizing with whatever is happening. The real good professionals will survive, and therefore I feel that the path that you've chosen to coach people in the field of real estate is really fantastic. So tell us a little bit about what's happening in that industry now. Where do you see the need for coaching in the real estate industry? A little more, if you can tell us in depth.
Pretty, as I said, I mean, real estate industry is very disorganized, unfortunately, in India. There's very little corporatization that has happened like L&T or Kalpataru or Godrej. They're the big players now who are really in the front today, and there's a corporate. But I would say more than 80% of the industry still is Babu system,
Mm.
wherein the business keeps coming to the son to father, father to another son, and all. And they are so hesitant to corporatize it.
Okay.
And I tell them why. I mean, you won't believe I have developers where I'm working as a contractor also there today, and I don't want to name. They don't use RTGS or bulk NEFT. I said, you don't want net banking, at least send RTGS to people with the check. One, why ask everybody to come? You can't. So we are trying to get into that, and that's a sorry state. I mean, you are wasting somebody's 2 hours just to pick up a check, which could be done in just 5 minutes by one pew. And that's where I'm trying to take the industry, that make it more corporate, make it more white, make it more transparent, and let there be proper hierarchy and systems followed so that If you're not there tomorrow for 15 days, your works don't stop because there's no decision. I mean, I go on 3 trips every year for 10 to 12 days and I switch off my business phone when I go. I tell them, ekdam aag laga rahega, to only 1 or 2 people have my personal number. They'll call, which fortunately till date I have not got any. The fact is, you put your systems and processes in place and that will work. The other advantage in that is, Preeti, you are not dependent on the intelligence and brilliance of a particular person.
True, very true.
Okay, I may be brilliant, I can do 3 works at the same time in the company as an employee. But a guy who comes who's not as intelligent or as enthusiastic to work, he feels lost. But if you have systems and processes के ये काम ABCD ये steps में करना है, it will happen with anybody that is there. He just has to read the manual. It's like factory में how they manufacture things. There's a process and system कि इसके बाद ये नट लगेगा, इसके बाद ये पेंट होगा, उसके बाद ये चेक होगा. Do that in our industry. I've been requesting, and thank you for calling me on this platform and asking me to talk about it. And that is all I'm doing. I mean, I wrote a book which thankfully became an Amazon bestseller called The Power of Being Organized, Construction Efficiency Unraveled. I'm only talking about systems and processes there. I mean, otherwise, I feel we have good space today. Luckily, again, even in the corona, there's not too much of a loss per se, but again, I mean, I would say chicken and egg. Government is
Yeah,
not recognized as an industry.
true. I think
Why do we work as an industry?
yeah, I think every industry somewhere feels a little let down by the kind of infrastructure that we're surrounded with. But yeah, the real estate industry particularly has been. But we did see that, just when in the last 6 months there were some reliefs given for stamp duty registrations and stuff like that, which led to a rise in the residential sale. And so basically, when we are talking about the real estate industry, we are talking about, people who are into residential complexes or business complexes, or maybe standalone kind of cluster developments that
No,
people
but
do.
then we are pretty not getting the kind of facilities and duty frees and all those things if we are recognized as an industry. Unfortunately, we are not.
Okay.
So my loan, if I don't pay to a project, probably one extension and then it becomes NPA.
Oh, okay. That was something that
Whereas
I didn't know.
infrastructure work, which is also a construction work, there it goes on for 2 to 3 extensions of loans and they don't turn into an NPAs. So, I mean, this is one area which is a very difficult area that I'm highlighting, but there are so many other benefits that we can draw as an industry that we are not able to.
Fair enough. I think, yeah, those are some concerns. And I think only a professional who's worked in that field for so long will be able to identify the loopholes. You mentioned about your book. I know it's a bestseller, it's an Amazon bestseller. So many, many congratulations for that. If you can tell me who, for whom is that book? What exactly have you covered in that book? And, I know quite a bit because I've read the book, but I think most of the audience may not know about it. So if you can just throw some light on your book.
See, it is again, my first love is cricket, second love is my industry. Okay. So the book is targeted for construction industry because the tagline is construction efficiency unraveled, but it is for any entrepreneur who's coming up, except for few chapters which are really construction specific. If you read 70% of the book, anybody can uh, actually follow that and become more, what do you call, systematic and more efficient. I mean, I can promise you that we can at least get you 2 hours from your daily routine free to do bigger things or the things that you really love, subject to you follow certain norms in your life. Rather, इसमें प्रीति और एक बीइंग इंडियन मेरे ऐसा कोई नहीं कर सकता है जो
MBA,
मैं
Mani
करता
Baddu
हूँ ना
Avadi.
वो उसको आता नहीं. And second fear, we have a lot of clients where we have that second fear of delegation. Why? Because we tell them you have a second in command. He's saying सर वो सीख के भाग गया और मेरा धंधा लेगा तो. And then I tell him, boss, तू भी तो सीखा ना पहले. You've not come trained from your mother's womb like Abhimanyu. he'll also learn and go. You have your share. So there's a lot of insecurity. So I'm addressing all that and saying, "Ki, boss, become systematic. Believe in yourself. Believe in your efficiency. Believe in your power, and at the same time have somebody so that you can." You know what happens, Preeti, in this case? I'm playing in that pond only with the fear that somebody will take a bucket from me. I mean, you
Wow.
willing to give that bucket away, probably you'll go swim in the sea.
See,
And, and that's what I talk about in the
I
book.
think yeah, it's very brilliantly put. I think it is not just the construction industry, but majority of entrepreneurs, I think people who are in the businesses often fail to realize the power of delegation, and they have this fear that maybe we will lose out by giving power to our team. But whereas what you have rightly pointed out, the path to growth is certainly delegation. I have experienced it myself in my business, and I realize you've done a fantastic job with that. So, Nimish, coming back to your coaching business, do you deal with people? You spoke about the general business class also. So, there, in terms of efficiency building, because I know you're a business efficiency consultant, you go by that name. What exactly are the areas that you work with, whether it is individuals or corporates, and what exactly is covered in that?
In fact, pretty good you ask this question because we are very uniquely placed at Prescient because I have a partner, Kalyanikamble. She's got 15 years of experience in coaching training. She's an NLP certified practitioner from USA. So what we do as a team is she works on your individually, on your lifestyle, on your mind blocks, on your a lot of what you call beliefs and all to break them, open up your vision, work with your team, employees, your workers, your blue collared and white collared people. She works on the personal front. I work on the business part, looking at your financials, look how are you placed, have you have got a proper systems, have you got a proper marketing plan, how do you market yourself, how do you position yourself, where can we save, where can we really invest something and grow bigger, because अपना देश खेती प्रधान देश है एंड फिर भी पब्लिक भूल जाता है कि बोएगा नहीं तो काटेगा क्या, उनको पहले डायरेक्ट काटना है फिर बोलते हो जो आएगा ना उसमें से मैं बोऊंगा, they want to go to the reverse engineering. I mean, that can't happen. So I try and emphasize a lot on investing money. They feel it's a waste. I say no, it's an investing money
Oh,
in training your staff
that's the
so that
point I was going to come to.
if
Yeah.
their skill levels increase, the overall efficiency of the company increases. And that is where we go with them. So I look at the business part, and we virtually are like your hired CEO because we come in once in a week, once in a 15 days to your office, sit with you for half a day, and go through what has happened in the time we were not there, and keep monitoring and be there on phone with you if you require.
Uh,
That's the whole idea of coaching.
Awesome. I also know that right now you're working on an online course where you're recording actual on-site construction work. Okay, was that not supposed to be?
Yeah, it's a trademark. Somebody will copy it because it's again a unique thing. I know for sure nowhere in the world it is there,
Okay.
and it's going to be more than 150 video program, and it'll take another year because of this corona. Everything is on a hold, so we'll do that later.
All right.
But it's
Okay.
it's going to be there.
Yeah, I'm so super excited to hear about that. Maybe a year hence, when we are actually launching that online course of yours, it's going to be
I'll
so
launch with
excited.
you.
Yeah, that'll be great. I think Nimish, your journey has been really inspirational for me as a friend, as a mastermind member from my community, as well as my lead chair. I have seen some qualities in you which are so fantastic, and I really find it brilliant. So, if I have to ask you three things that you would like to give as advice for upcoming, veterans or maybe upcoming professionals in the field of real estate industry, what would be the three top advices that you'd like to give?
I mean, my advices would be very weird to them, but this is what I've lived by always. If you like an idea, go for it. Don't overanalyze it. Don't overthink it. Because अमिताभ का डायलॉग है, सोच गहरी होती है तो इरादे कमजोर हो जाते हैं. So I always love to jump, and you know that. I mean, we've jumped blindly because unless you don't get into the water, how will I know whether I'll be able to swim or no? So if you like an idea, go for it. Second, persevere with. At the first hurdle or the second hurdle, don't give up. If you really like that idea, give your full. Maybe 7 ideas will not work, but you will learn a lot from those failures also. But really persevere with it. And if you take up a responsibility, the third and most important, and I've discussed this a lot with you, if you take up a responsibility, justify it. Don't take it up for the sake of taking up. If these three things, whether you're an employee or an entrepreneur, if you can do right, most of your problems are solved.
Awesome. I think that is a great learning for us. If you like an idea, just go with your gut feel and follow it. Second is that be very perseverant, do not give up easily. And the third thing is, if you've taken the responsibility, deliver. I think these are three things that you live by also, Nimish. So
Preeti, I mean,
go ahead, please.
Sony started in a garage. And you know who gave idea to Sony, which made Sony a legend of a Walkman? The owner, I forgot his name. You know, I'm a Gajni. He was taking around in the office, and they were listening music and all in the office. Must be very, you know how those offices work. And somebody just told him, "Sir, how would it be if I could, go everywhere with my music around me?" I mean, those days. I mean, today we feel it's normal, but those days, I mean, people would have laughed him off. कि तू साथ में किधर लेके घूमेगा? I mean, if it was so portable, rather than moving with those big transistors and all, and he did not laugh at that person, worked on it, and today, it's an history. So if you like an idea, go for it. I mean,
that's a great story.
you,
Yes,
you
I
may
think
be called a pagal at that point, but
later on people will realize it. Yeah.
Look at Apple. I mean, that's
awesome.
Thank you. Sorry, I buttoned.
No,
but
not at all. That's
there
absolutely
was one
okay.
story I always love to share. They don't laugh off an idea.
I think, yeah, it's only crazy minds like us which get inspired by such stories also. So I quite relate to that. So it's been nice talking to you, Nimish. Now we are going to come to the last part of this interview where I'm going to do some rapid fire questions and I expect you to give some very rapid answers. Okay. So are you ready?
Always.
Okay. So the first question is TLC for you is?
TLC for me today is my second family.
Awesome. The second question is the best part about being a business efficiency coach is?
Being able to serve so many people.
Okay, yeah, I think, and I've seen you do that also, reaching out. There's one thing which I'm going to just stop here and mention about Nimish to everybody, and I'm sure all the people who know him will agree that he's one of those coconuts, bahar se ekdam, he'll be very kadak and he'll come across as a person ki bhai isko abhi kuch bhi bola to ye aake mukka marega, but deep inside he's full of that lovely kernel, juicy coconut with a lot of coconut water. Every bit of that coconut is useful and giving. So yeah, and very humble. So Nimish, I'm very happy that I've seen that side of you also, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me that that side is the most beautiful side of you. So going back to our rapid fire, what is the most difficult part about being a business efficiency coach?
Nothing.
Nothing. Awesome. That's nice. And the first question and the fourth question is, what is the best thing that happened to you during this lockdown?
As I told you, I have started my own web series sort of a thing on FB Live. I've started a construction universe and portal. I've done a lot of courses, and the biggest thing, had this lockdown not come, probably I would not have joined TLC the way I've joined. So that has been one of the gains besides all the other gains that I've had.
And you've been a very busy professional, being on different sites and moving around. And suddenly, lifestyle has changed in the last 1 year. We are in a lockdown.
I'm a lazy guy. I told you, Preeti. I delegate, and I was never working. I think last 10 years, I don't think I worked for more than 4 to 5 hours a day.
Yeah. So, what is your way of mindfulness? What do you do for mindfulness, and what would you advise people to keep their sanity?
I keep to myself. My way of living life is knowingly do not harm anybody and do not bother too much about दुनिया क्या कहेगी. कुछ तो बोलेगी दुनिया. Don't worry about it. And that's my mindfulness. I need to know whether I'm right or wrong. I don't need to depend on others telling me I was right or wrong. Simple as that.
Yes, anything that gets us a good night's sleep is worth it. Other than that, we don't need to worry about anything, I guess. Yeah.
कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम ही है
Kami
कहना.
कहना.
So,
All right. Fantastic talking to you, Nimish. Once again, thank you for this wonderful TLC talks. And we look forward to seeing all your online courses, maybe another book. I hear you're
oh
also part
yes,
of a co-authored book for TLC series. So
yes, yes.
that is going to be a separate TLC talks where we're going to talk about our book and all the exciting stuff that you're doing. And all the best. Do continue to impact people. It was a total pleasure talking to you today. And bye bye.
Thank you, Preeti, for calling me on this, and pleasure was all mine.
See
Thank
you.
you.